You have made it to the magnificent Le Panthéon. The building was constructed after King Louis XV vowed that he would build a new grand basilica if he recovered from a great illness. During this time, he prayed to the patron saint of Paris, Saint Geneviève, that he would recover, and when he finally did in 1744, the new basilica was dedicated in her name. The area where the current Pantheon stands today has however been a sacred site for an even longer time. The place was a sacred site as early as 507 and later in 512, when it became the first burial place for the Saint Geneviève, who had protected Paris from the barbarians. The man responsible for the construction of the Panthéon was the Marquis De Marigny, and the foundation stone was laid in 1758. However, due to financial difficulties, the completion of the building was delayed until 1789. This was a time of revolution in France, and in 1791 the Constituent Assembly passed a decree that turned the basilica into a temple to house the remains of the nation's greatest. Since then, the building has been converted back to a basilica twice. The converting back and forth did however stop with the burial of the famous writer Victor Hugo in 1885, and has ever since mainly served as a civic temple for France's greatest. The change from a basilica to a temple also led to some changes on the outside of the Panthéon. Above the front pillars at the main entrance, you will see the beautiful pediment which depicts the fatherland crowning the hero. You will also be able to read the inscription Au grand homme la patrie reconnaissant, meaning for the great men from the grateful homeland. If you look closely on the left side of the pediment, you will see two small men sitting down. These are the famous philosophers and writers Voltaire and Rousseau. This pediment is not the original one, but was added in 1837 to reflect the building's new use. Another typical feature you can see by looking at the main entrance is its Corinthian columns. The facade itself is modelled after the Pantheon of Agrippa in Rome, and both inside the Pantheon and on the outside, the Roman and Greek neoclassical features are evident. The Panthéon's large dome, found in the middle, was inspired by several similar Renaissance structures, and it was a smart way to lead daylight into the building, which was one of the architect Jacques-Germain Soufflot's main goals when designing the Panthéon. While the outside of the Panthéon is certainly impressive, most people visit for its inside. The inside is covered with the same Corinthian columns that you can see on the front facade. The inside also holds three other main features. The first one are the many beautiful drawings you'll see on the walls, each one telling a part of the French history, everything from the childhood of Saint Geneviève to the story of Jeanne d'Arc. In the middle of the Panthéon, you will find Foucault's pendulum. This is an invention by the physicist Léon Foucault, which demonstrates the rotation of the Earth. The invention was installed in 1851, but was later removed and reinstalled in 1995. Surrounding the invention, you will find early 20th century sculptures, including scenes from the French Revolution. The last main feature you will find on the inside is the magnificent statue in the far back. This is known as the National Convention, which shows the symbol of France, Marianne, surrounded by soldiers and members of the parliament after the revolution. Just underneath Marianne, you can read the phrase Vivre libre ou mourir, meaning live free or die. If you have the time, I also recommend that you visit the crypt. As mentioned in the beginning, the Panthéon is after all a mausoleum for France's greatest, so the crypt is well worth a visit. In total, there are more than 70 people entombed in the crypt. Among those buried down in the crypt is Voltaire, Rousseau, Victor Hugo, Émile Zola, Jean Moulin, and Marie Curie.